What's going on, y'all? I got some post-tournament reflections coming to Kissimmee. Forgive me if I look a little bit tired. I went to work on 3 hours sleep coming out of the event, basically 8-hour drive home. Got back at 12:15 in the morning, went to work today, and here I am Monday afternoon, tired as all get out, but you know, it never stops to keep doing this. So anyway, we're gonna jump into my kind of review and feedback after running the first tournament out of the new XTR. So let's check it out. Okay, so to jump right in, we'll look at the cover first. This is a $65 cover that I got off of Amazon. It's a 16-foot bass boat cover. Before I take it off, I wanted to give you a chance to take a look at it. It's a little bit on the big side, but it actually did the job exceptionally well. Really happy with it so far. I got a few wear spots from travel from where I have sharp points on the kayak. I'll work on that detail a little bit and see if I can't make that better. But all in all, no complaints. Moving on. All right, y'all, we're gonna dive in. I got some extra supplemental videos that I'll end up appending to this as well. I'll try to chop them in when I can. So we'll talk about the motor and the grass cutter, the necessity of the grass cutter. And I'll show you some video of me chopping through the grass with the Kraken. That thing was super slick, super smooth, really impressed with it. Moving down the kayak, no problems, no issues on the front deck. You'll notice that my rod stagers got a little bit cleaner from Yak Attack. That was important. I just cutting some weight there, plus all the extra stuff that's on there just isn't necessary. You really just need these little hoop holes here to hold the rods in place, and just make sure that you don't break the brackets putting it on the trailer. Let's just say that I've learned a lesson or two there. Continuing forward, all my straps and tie downs and cabling, it all looks good. I did lower this before I left. I thought that was significant. If I had to do a build from scratch, one of the first things I would do is make sure the graph mounts that are here are completely flush to the bottom. This Boondocks mount is completely solid. It's not going anywhere. The graphs aren't going anywhere. I don't have to worry about anything there. Moving to the back, or moving to the midsection of the boat, this is where I start to experience my first series of frustrations. This has already come through 8 hours of airtime, coming back from Orlando, and you can see it's still wet. This kayak still seems to carry some water on the internals. Whether you have scupper plugs in, out, whatever, there is no way to keep water out of the top of this boat. I like for it to be dry. It reminds me a little bit of the native 13.5. The Titan 13.5, however, it's much drier than the 13.5. But if you cross waves and stuff like that, you tend to get some water buildup, have to pull the plugs. Then you're managing water inflow from having the motor. And so just some things to be mindful of there. Another thing, and I'm gonna talk to Bonafide about this, is I have a nice little divot going right here. I stood 90 to 95% of the time. This is the most stable kayak platform I have ever seen or ever been on. This thing is absolutely incredible. I stood for majority of the event. I stood for a bunch of practice. I've never been that comfortable to be able to stand that long in a kayak. So that's remarkable. That's probably the best feature of this entire thing. The ability to walk, move around. I'm over 300 pounds. And so for guys that are much lighter, you're gonna walk around this boat like it's nothing. You're gonna step on the deck, you're gonna tap dance, you can jump around, do whatever you want, and you're gonna be totally comfortable. Me, I'm just happy that I can stand in the tank well and do what I need to do from there. Yak Attack boxes, screws probably need some Loctite to make that a little bit better. Otherwise, the Yak Attack boxes performed well. I put a simple strap here to hold my live scope pole in place. That was a necessity to prevent it from beating and banging, but I also added a live fishing cover to it, just to kind of soften any potential impacts it might take. Moving to the back, my rod tubes, So the friction component of this worked exceptionally well until the last day of the tournament. And they started getting a little bit soft and weak and started falling a little bit when I would pull out of the ramp and stuff like that. It didn't affect any of my fishing time, but I do think I'm gonna have to install some magnets to make it better than it is currently. I have these tie down straps that we did. This holds my crate in place. Super good. Obviously my built-in light kit, straps for extra batteries, stuff like that. All in all, this thing is an amazing ride. I'll give you some video of me using it on the water and putting it through some of its paces. I'll throw in a fish catch or two while I'm at it. I hope you enjoy this. Please feel free to ask questions. I'll provide any feedback or any assistance I can and kind of talk you through any of the lessons learned that I've had along the way. So more to follow. And I forgot, so I'm gonna apologize. A couple things that I didn't talk about. One is my paddle holders. You can see that I snaked them inside. It works really well when you don't have to touch them, but when you need access to them, it's absolutely terrible. So I gotta figure that piece out. Battery wiring for quick charging. I have this plug here. This works exceptionally well. Prevents me from having to lift the front deck all the time. So we're gonna jump into motor parts, remotes, whatnot. All right, so first things first, you guys know that I'm running a Garmin Force Kraken over here. Other than she's a little bit of a beast put on and off, the built-in GT56 transducer is absolutely phenomenal. It's an awesome transducer. It works really well. It's great on the front of the boat. The motor comes with a two-blade prop. I've been told that on some of the motor mounts, if you put a three-blade prop on it, you'll get faster speeds. So I'm gonna tinker with that because I like to go fast when I can go fast, and I like to have precision in grass cutting when I need precision in grass cutting. I will tell you this though, watching people that did not have a Ninja on their mount were suffering in the grass. This Ninja cut through a lot of the excess grass, and then for the last bit of grass that was basically wrapped around the trolling motor shaft, basically I spun out of it, went in reverse for a moment, got it to break free, and then went back forward and took off. Heading over to the pedal is completely wireless. It is super seamless. It's very efficient. It's very clean. The remote, on the other hand, isn't as clean. It's got a little bit of a delay to it. It's just a byproduct of the remote. So let's talk features for a moment. When I'm zipping around and sitting in the kayak, I'm doing everything from the pedal. When I can get to the point where I can stand and utilize the pedal, everything will be fantastic. Right now, I can't do that. That's just a me comfort thing. That's not a stability or problem with the boat thing. I just have to get there. I stand, I use the remote typically. I sit, I use the pedal. Now, both can be powered on and synced to the motor simultaneously. That's a bonus. However, you cannot run them both at the same time. If you run an item or a setting on the foot pedal, you need to work from the foot pedal, because the second you do something from the remote overrules the pedal, and then vice versa. So like, let's say that you're wanting to heading lock and speed lock and stuff like that. You're gonna do that. I try to do that via the remote and let her rip and then go about my business. If I'm just running around through grass flats or like, navigating tight areas and trying to figure out what I'm fishing next or moving from spot to spot in like a short distance, I'm doing everything from the pedal. So just some perspective, moving on. I can come out of the water for that one. Y'all, it's getting late here. It's time to wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll talk to y'all soon. Take care.